Having covered Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr., and having done an earlier video on Atari's Kangaroo, I wanted to cover the rest of the lineup of the Saturday Supercade: Frogger, Pitfall, and Q-Bert. Space Ace is also another one that's on the Saturday Supercade lineup, but I figure I would cover that at a later time. And without further ado, let's catch Frogger. Starting off with the Saturday Supercade, we are starting with Frogger. Frogger is the story about an ace reporter and his two associates, Fanny and Shellshock, who are basically trying to get in the story of the week, and sometimes it leads to some occupational hazards for him. But what's the gameplay like? Essentially, it's a take on Why Did the Frog Cross the Road, but also adding on Cross the River. You're crossing, avoiding cars, turtles, and yeah, you gotta watch where you land, because you have to be precise in your jumps and where you want to land. The objective is to cross the road, cross the river, avoid the cars, avoid down again, avoid drowning, avoid sinking turtles, make sure you land well, and I could have done better. Looking back, Frogger is definitely a game you could get practice on and work on pretty easily. Just make sure you get a lot of experience time in. But it's really just a simple premise. The frog crossing the road, crossing the river, picking up the girl at times, maybe getting a fly for lunch, and getting back to his lily pad, getting him back home. The dangers get heavier. You gotta watch the sinking turtles. The alligators will come into play. And sometimes those alligators may creep up into your lily pad, and you gotta wait him out till he leaves. And the music's not bad either. I thought I would have to wait for this one because the first experience of the first reveal of this game was on Atari home consoles. Now, granted, this is not the original game. This is a sequel. It's an arcade port of the sequel to this game. The character was Pitfall, and this is Pitfall II: Lost Caverns. The cartoon featured Pitfall Harry with his niece Rhonda and his sidekick Quick Claw, who goes on adventures and sometimes running across the three crocs from the movie. The game Pitfall II: The Lost Caverns apparently was adapted by Sega to be an arcade game. The original Pitfall was an Activision Games release. And going through the playthrough, we're seeing what it's all about. The gameplay seems similar. Beware of the holes, jump up, and also try to get your crossings over. And again, making use of a different system. The control is not quite the same, but a lot of what you know from the original Pitfall and Pitfall II: The Lost Caverns is here. And it looks like the sprite is a little more, well, not square. It's a little more rounded out, somewhat realistic. So let's try to play around with this. Okay. Now, I'm familiar with moving Pitfall around, but sometimes I don't always make the time with the original home game that Activision put out. apparently Sega got the rights to Pitfall II Lost Caverns and made an arcade game for it. I never came across this until recently, and again, your jumps have to be precise. You gotta be in the right place to get where you need to go to jump over a pit or to cross lava, apparently. Yeah, you gotta be exactly right, and the controls can throw you a bit. Yeah, I tapped the lava. And you see the treasures off to the right-hand side, like, yeah, jumped right into it. Come on. Oh, did I just jump away from it? No, come on. Yeah, it's a little challenging, but the general gist is pretty much the same. You're crossing over vines. I think the crocs even appear somehow. In the cartoon, his niece Rhonda and I think his cowardly lion sidekick Quick-Claw appear in a PlayStation adaptation. Ooh, Scorpion got me, and ooh, he flies off into heaven. And little birds below get the treasures. Looks like he got to get in a certain amount of time. So, the clock never really seemed to bother me much in the original game, I guess, because... And there we go! Made it to the other side. Well, practice makes... Well, practice. You have to... Okay, watch out for the logs. I guess the double jump here is easier than Donkey Kong, and... Ooh. More surprises there. And a bird beneath, and... I don't know what these are. And I guess I couldn't get through to the other side for some odd reason. Do I have to go underneath and watch out for the bird? Or was there a threat that I missed out on? Well, let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, yeah. The money bag. Maybe I needed to get that to clear. So, back up. Let's see if that helps out a bit. And, those trees kind of look a little scary, if you ask me. And whatever those falling bird things are. Lost Caverns looks like it's a pretty good arcade play, but I really ought to get to the original Pitfall, which I'll likely do. Ooh! 2 vines. Yeah, that's going to be troublesome. But it doesn't matter. Game over anyway. Lost Caverns is a bit of a challenge, and it definitely throws a lot at you. I mean, I'm not sure I could recall, like, having 2 vines on the home version of that. There weren't even 2 vines in the original Pitfall. It's like you had crossed over with the 1. And lava pits instead of lakes and tar pits. Yeah, that's pretty scary. But you can, this is also another one you could get into. But you gotta know the ins and outs of it. This one, you really have to know what all the game's about. You can get into it, pick up and play it, but there might be a few surprises if and when you do. But now, the last on the list. Someone that could well have been an arcade superstar in his own right. Q-Bert. Q-Bert is basically a story about a school kid hanging out with friends, getting in trouble with the mean kids headed by Coily, and getting into hijinks where he's jumping on squares, reflecting his gaming prowess, and just having a good time. But he does get hurt a time or two, which causes him to curse up and down in symbols that were appropriate for the time. Now, what about his game? Well, let's find out. Explains rules first. Jump on squares, change them target colors, staying playing field, jumping off results in a fatal plummet unless the disc is there. Avoids all objects and creatures are not green. Use spinning discs to lure the snake to his death. And watch out for the balls. Those are going to hurt. Here's a view of the gameplay where you're basically jumping on squares. Just trying to turn them from blue to yellow. In later levels, it'll be other colors. Here comes the snake. Get on the square, and the snake plummets. But it's got to be right place, right time. Not too early, and not too late. So let's get a play on. Level 1. The joystick for this is not like you usually would for a regular joystick. And yeah, because it's more diagonal. And sometimes the diagonal joystick can throw you for a loop unless you know exactly what you're doing. Like that. And that just ended too early, so I'm basically going to try it again. Level 1. It's just keep going diagonal, but the wrong kind of diagonal, especially if you're kind of using a different system. Yeah, you gotta be in the right spot for the disc, and there I was not. But you're basically changing all the colors into another, all the squares into another color, and once they are all the same color, then you move on to the next level. And it's just trying to get to the right square. Yep, got Coily. Starting off, your main enemy is Coily, but other enemies come into play in later levels. And the levels are also broken down into rounds. There's several rounds into a level. Yep, getting Coily again. And you just change all the colors over. It's a simple premise, but the controls can throw you. But it seems I got enough to qualify. So just putting on the my initials into the game. And it's a simple enough game, but you gotta make sure the controls work for you. It is a game where you have to be practiced with the controllers. But still, fun, hang out, enjoy.
Bye-bye.
Q-Bert makes use of a joystick, but the joystick can be a little finicky because it's a joystick that does not necessarily move the way a joystick traditionally does. It's not left, right, up, down. It's more like diagonal up, diagonal down, left, diagonal down, right, diagonal right up. No, diagonal left up. There's no straight up, straight down, or any of that. The signal, well, doesn't exactly work that way. But once you figure out the ins and outs, yeah, this is definitely a game worth playing. Jumping up on cubes, changing them colors, simple concept, fun character, and curses like a sailor. Yeah, that's how it probably looked in comic book pages and a lot of other young media at the time. It's like the symbols and yeah. Yeah, people don't do that anymore. And as I said, with the exception of Space Ace, the arcade ports of the Saturday Supercade series are covered. So will I look to continue a little more with the Saturday Supercade? Well, maybe. I might want to look into the home ports of it. Stay tuned for that one. Don't forget to click. You know what? Not anything like this. I think I can do Frogger better. 40 seconds, yeah. It gives you the gist of what the game's about, but you know what? I played that game before, and I'm not going to let things end on a bad day. Here we go. Music really does sound kind of cool. But yeah, here I am, jumping up. And no, do those sinking turtles there. Okay, yeah, don't go off the screen either. I'm not going to get the girl, so I'm just going to jump ahead and show you, yeah, I can get in those lily pads. Yeah, see? Got in. Even though the time was all down, so gotta be careful. Watch the cars. Stay ahead of them, but don't. And there we go. Got the girl. And, well, let's take her to the hard home. That one off the left really is the hardest one to get to, at least I found it to be, because right position, right place, right time. As you go further right, I think those might be a little easier to get into. Got that? And the central log is moving faster. So, let's see about getting a little further distance. Made it! Okay, jump, jump, jump. Cross the road. And enjoy the music. And there's a racer going faster. So, gotta be careful about him. Turtles are going faster too. Some sink and some stay up. Okay, those will likely stay, I'm hoping. Too late for lunch. And yeah, didn't get it in right. So, it's gotta be exact. So, up. Onto the turtle. Not yet. I guess, Froggy's in need of a date. Yeah. And, jump. Got him. And here we go, crossing the road again. Faster vehicles. Turtles sink more. Still gotta watch those barriers. You still have to... You still gotta work within the screen you've got. So, oh. Ugh. And down myself, but also the girl. So, jump, jump, jump. There you go. And pass that fast Formula One-er. Got the girl, nope, the girl's playing hard to get. Not anymore. Okay. Sinking turtle, and I cleared the board. Told you I could do it. So here goes round 2. Double the cars. Still gotta stay ahead. Oh. And alligators. Ooh. Scary. Okay. Yep, get the girl. Oh, you always try to get the girl. You gotta be careful. Okay, jump down. Look up. Look up. Yeah, there was an alligator about to go into the lily pads, so... I guess even when you get to the lily pads, you're not completely safe, especially if there's a gator going into it. But that's a moot point now. Still, better than what I had last time. Okay. And decided to do one more. This really is a fun game to get some practice in. You can just enjoy it. Try to figure out how to accomplish your goal. Enjoy a nice little musical tune while you're at it. Made it to the lily pad. Jump, jump. Cross. I guess I don't make that one. But Still, this is a game you definitely have the most fun with. Well, that's better. But I think it also gives you a better gist of how the game's played, and also a few other enemies to come down the pike, like the gators, and some can even pop into those lily pads, so those aren't necessarily safe havens. You often gotta get to the lily pad before the gator does. Feel like I'm missing out on a game and want to nominate one of your own? Go ahead and check me out over on social media. See you all next time, and don't forget to click and subscribe.